I don't remember anything that happened before that. I truly don't. It was a Saturday. We were busy. We had a nice lunch. We were having a decent dinner, and it started raining. The rain got harder. You could hear it. It was kind of unusual. Hearing the rain was kind of a surprise. Something we don't experience a lot. We got kind of driving rain. And then we had water started coming down Main Street. Slowly at first. I've only had one other experience with that. In 2011, there was a tropical storm that came through Ellicott City and flooded our basement. And about a foot of water ended up coming down Main Street, but it never entered the first floor. The famous flood in Ellicott City was in 1972 from Hurricane Agnes. And when that happened, the river overflowed, the Tasco River, which is to the east of us, about 200 yards, overflowed and came up. This was a completely different kind of flood. This is a flood where the tributaries leading into the Tasco, overflowed their banks. The water actually came down Main Street, which is why you saw such unprecedented damage. But I'd seen something similar to this before. Again, so it was 2011. We ended up with 8 to 12 inches of water coming down Main Street. It never entered the first floor of our building. It overflowed our basement. It was extraordinarily inconvenient and bad timing. But it ended up only being about $20,000 worth of damage, which my flood insurance company covered. Because of that, and I thought that's the worst I'm ever going to see it. This is horrible. This is bad. So I took my flood insurance policy and I reduced the contents coverage on it. Because through flood insurance, no contents in basements are covered. So I said, all right, if the water's never going to get up to the first floor, I don't really need much of contents coverage. So I reduced that. In retrospect, that was kind of a mistake. So yeah, we had experience of water coming down Main Street, and then it just kept getting worse, and worse and worse, and all of a sudden the water was at our front step. It started coming into the restaurant slightly, but then it built up, and so because the front doors are closed, the front windows are closed, and water started building up on them. And when it got catastrophic, a retaining pond collapsed about a half mile from here, which dumped, from what I've heard, 800 million gallons of water at once on the Main Street. And that's when the carnage started. One of our front windows blew out. An adjoining wall between us and a neighbor, the wall blew out and filled with water. The water wrapped around the side of our building. Came in our side door, went down into our basement. And we ended up with 9-foot ceilings in the basement. That room was completely submerged, and we had 4 to 5 feet on the first floor. So we're talking about 15 feet of water in the building. We still didn't understand what was happening. We got a very limited. It's a narrow town. We have a very limited line of vision to where we can see. So we knew it was getting bad, and we took people on our first floor and brought them up here to the second floor where we're sitting right now. We realized water was coming in down there. There were some mistakes made during that process. There was a woman who exited through the front door, which I don't know how she got it open. With the pressure of the water, but she got it open, and then water flooded in that way as well. We got people up here to the second floor where we're sitting now, and they were out on the balcony, which is where we got the video of the car knocking over the clock tower. And that's when people started realizing exactly how serious it was. This is a horrible choice of words, but for a little while it was almost exciting. Like, wow, this is neat, because we didn't understand the damage that was occurring to town at the time. Like, this is kind of neat. You figure it's going to wash out in a couple minutes, and we'll go down and mop the place out. But that's certainly not what happened. Once the clock tower got knocked down is when people started to panic a little bit. We actually have a third floor, which is an office above here. We had 40 customers at the time, and 8 employees that were here. A lot of customers left on their own once the water started coming into the first floor. They were trying to move cars, they were trying to leave, they were trying to get out of town, but there was about 40 customers that we had up in an office. So the water continued to rise. It tore through the buildings. It tore through the buildings all through town. And then it receded, and it went away relatively quickly. Within an hour, almost all the water was gone. And the damage that was left was, you couldn't understand it. Now there was still a foot or two of water. It was coming down for probably another 15 or 20 minutes. And then it was kind of gone. There was obviously some big pools of water. There's some big pools of water in low-lying areas. There's some big pools of water in areas which had just been completely eroded and wiped away. There was also water mains that were broken, so there's water shooting. There was gas lines leaking. Once I realized that the water was coming in the first floor, there's not much below 3 or 4 feet on the first floor that we need. I don't care about tables. I don't care about chairs. I care about the computer system. So we went downstairs to try to get that. And the water was just too high. We didn't feel comfortable getting through it. And the water literally stopped at about the height of the bar. So the computers were fine because they were sitting on top of cash registers, which is nice. So the $15,000 computer system we did not have to get replaced. We had about 4 feet of water on the first floor. And the first floor steps up slightly as it goes towards the back through the kitchen. So the back was closer to 3 feet. But then it also blew out the back garage doors and washed a lot of stuff in the garage out into the river. There's numerous things here that we'll never find. There was refrigerators that were dumped onto the bar. So the water lifted up the refrigerators and pushed them on the bar. And when I realized the bar itself, similar to the one downstairs, the bar itself had shifted about 6 inches. That's when I realized what a kind of a long-term, rehab this was going to be. There was 6 to 8 inches of mud throughout the first floor, literally everything. There's 3 things that, there's 2 things that didn't move during the flood. It was a safe, and a grease containment bin that was full of about 300 pounds worth of grease. Everything else in the entire building had moved. Had been flipped and torn, and the amazing part was the electric was still on. Even with the basement still submerged in water on the electrical panels, the air conditioning was still on. It took 2 weeks to get in here for more than 10 minutes at a time. Howard County's response, it's a relatively new administration. There's a new county executive, but Howard County is a extraordinary affluent county that has very deep resources. So they brought us down. It was actually Parks and Rec who brought us down in gators. One at a time with 10 minutes to get whatever you could get in the back of your gators. So we did that a couple times. We took all the money out of the safe. Then I took the computers and the payroll books and everything I could salvage and brought it back to my house. But it took about 3 weeks before we were able to even really kind of come in and start gauging what we needed to do. And at that point, we were starting with volunteers. We had to get the mud out. We had to get started. We had to salvage what we could. This floor that we're on now was unharmed by the water. But we ended up filling it, wall to wall and almost floor to ceiling with stuff that we could save. And then we had to get rid of everything. The entire process from start to finish was 6 months to the day. It was 6 months to the day before we got fully reopened on both floors with food. We got open slightly earlier than that up here with alcohol only. But there's still things that need to happen. So we're not 100% done. I'm still wiring television. I still have 2 more televisions to wire, and the music system I have downstairs works, but I've got wires hanging. It looks like a college dorm room almost. Something I'm not thrilled with, but it's working. The customers are responding great, and we're happy. I've been a business owner for 15 years now, and I have an extraordinarily hard time asking for help. For better or worse, I'm used to being in charge. I had no control over this at all. and everybody wants to help. I processed that better. My wife got cancer a few years back. She's fine and healthy now. And they did a meal train. I don't know what they call it. When different people bring you dinners every night. And she explained. I said I didn't want it. My wife explained it to me. She said it was the only way people knew how to help. And I went, okay, I can deal with that. So the same kind of process happened here, although I accepted it a lot quicker. I didn't want to put out a GoFundMe page. And I was told people want to help. So I did it for the benefit of my employees, and we raised a tremendous amount of money. So I was able to keep I kept 20 out of 22 of my employees actually returned to work here. This business and this community has been so good to me over the years. My life had gotten pretty good. Like I said, I've been here for 15 years, and the first 5, 6, 7 were struggle. They were struggle financially, and they had young children and everything else, and life had gotten pretty good. The cost of rebuilding this business was cheaper than going out and building a new one. I had flood insurance. Doesn't cover everything by a long shot, but it covered enough. And I saved enough money over the years to, I had an emergency fund. So my personal finances were taken care of. My kids were taken care of. We could do it. And this business is, quite honestly, it's very profitable when it's operating at 100%. I wanted to be back here because I know how to make this business work. My wife will tell you, I wanted to give up a couple times. And it just, again, I didn't know what else to do. So you just kept going. We're extraordinarily fortunate here. The Phoenix has been here for 35 years. 38 years this coming up July. So we're coming up on for 38th anniversary. So the business has been in the community for so long. It's been a large part of so many people's lives. Our employees live within the community. We have children that go to school in the community. We've got a huge pull through Ellicott City. We've got a huge pull into Columbia. We have an enormous pull into Catonsville. So those communities kind of coming together, plus random people that we have no idea. They've never been here. Donating money, donating time. That was kind of the extraordinary part. The time and the kinds of tasks that we asked people to do when they came here that they did was extraordinary. There were some horrible things that happened for the first couple of weeks. In conditions that were just unimaginable. We've been reopened for just over 2 months. And business has been fantastic. We've actually hired more employees. We have more employees than we did before the flood. We probably still need a couple more. So it's been great. Part of that, and obviously, is people's excitement to come back in Ellicott City. Part of that is a lack of competition right now, which I'm not. Everybody, we lost several restaurants in town, and people have been like, well, that's kind of good for you. But it's bad for the town. You need a vibrant town with a lot of restaurants and a lot of shops to pull more people down. We can all benefit from a stronger community. It's kind of like bringing something crazy. The Pokemon Go phenomenon of 2016. Who's checking my dates? That brought so many people into town for everybody. Let's just get the people here. Let's just get the people into town and see where it kind of goes from there. We knew that was a short-term fix to bring people into town. Even in its height, we knew it wouldn't last forever. But the idea is, if we get people into Ellicott City, offer them nice shops, nice restaurants, nice amenities, they'll continue to come back. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to feel back to normal though. We're actually doing slightly more business than we have in years past, which is wonderful. So things are going well, and I'm staffed, but I still don't feel like I'm back to normal. And I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but I'm looking forward to it. I think I need the town to kind of be thriving again. To kind of feel that. With us being open, there's a handful of shops open down here. It kind of feels like we're out on an island. I kind of feel like I'm isolated down here. And I'm looking forward to getting the rest of town back so we can feel like a part of the bigger community again.